Hey there lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie, where I love to talk all things makeup, especially makeup tutorials. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you how I do my summer glam look. Now, don't mind the extra noise that you hear of motorcycles in the background. They're going crazy outside right now, so I apologize in advance for the really loud motorcycle engines that you will hear throughout this video, but we're gonna get through it together. Make sure you subscribe so that I can create awesome content like this for you guys, and let's go ahead and get into it. So if you have watched my videos for a while now, you know that I always start off with a color corrector under my eye. Or not really under my eye, but more so in the corner of my eye, and it's a peach color corrector to cancel out the blue that I have. On camera, you can't really see how deep blue it is, but it is pretty significant in person, and I like to use just a little color corrector to cover that up rather than having to pile on the concealer so much, right? So if I put on a whole bunch of concealer, it's just going to really look cakey because I have a lot of fine lines, you know, from smiling, being happy throughout life, right? And so I have a lot of fine lines, and so if I try and cake up using a ton of concealer, it's really going to emphasize those, and I really don't want to do that, right? And I'm going to come in with my foundation here, just like a pump and a half really, so that I can really get super good coverage, because you know we're going glam, and so that means that we want to cover up all of the discoloration, redness, veins, and discoloration from pimples. I'm going to make sure I really blend that into my skin here. Make sure not to get on my earring, because that's annoying to clean off. And around my mouth and down my jawline. You know, no one really ever talks about making sure to get around your mouth really well. I have done it where I have put makeup on my face and I haven't brought that foundation all the way up to my lip line, and it looks really funny. So make sure you do that. Really blend around your mouth. Another really important place to blend is actually in the creases of our nose right there. It's super easy to miss that, which is why I really like a sponge. You can use a brush as well. I kind of like go back and forth. Really, right now I'm in my sponge phase, but I have been super dedicated to using a brush before as well. Again, I just go through phases, but that's why I really like the corner of this sponge here, so I can really get in there. Make sure it's blended really well. Okay, now I'm going to go in with concealer. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of this concealer, because guys, there's not much in there, okay? It's still going to last me a good while, but if you have any product recommendations of a good concealer, I am super picky when it comes to concealer. I don't like it to look too heavy. I also like it to be the right color. I actually really prefer my concealer to be about the same shade as my foundation. And that's because I don't really want a whole lot of brightening, which, if that's your preference, go for it. But I like it to be about all the same color, and any brightening that I do, I like that to come from any highlighter that I put on. Okay, so we are now a blank canvas, but we are an unset canvas. So I'm going to put on some loose powder here with my powder puff, and I just dip it in, and then I scrape off the excess here like that. And there they go, the loud motorcycles. Okay, and I'm gonna start just under my eyelid, and then I'm gonna just stay here in the corner of my eye, because my mascara really likes to transfer down to this part of my eye. right there, and so I just find that by putting powder there, I'm setting it so that all the oils from my moisturizer and the oils from my makeup and just even skin throughout the day, you know, it's going to really start to break down that mascara, and that's why you get raccoon eyes. I have found that certain mascara brands really they transfer bad and I get really bad raccoon eyes. So if your mascara is not working for you, try out a few others, okay? You don't have to stick to just one. That is the wonderful thing about having so many options now these days, is that you can try it out. You know, there are some mascaras that work really well for other people. I know like the Princess, what is it, the Lash, the Essence Princess mascara, I'll put it here on the screen. It's in the green tube. You know, that is like some of people's holy grails. I tried it, I did not like it. It made my eyelashes look really spindly and spiry, and I really like, not a super clumpy look, but a little bit more fuller look, okay? I don't really want that really spidery look, especially when I'm doing a glam look. So I'm going to be using Natasha Denona Mini Biba palette. This is also a palette I love to travel with, but it is a really, really awesome because you have, you know, really good universal shades here, really for like any skin tone. And if you are more fair skin tone like me, then you just go lighter handed. But I love, love, love this glitter shade, right? Well, it's not glitter, shimmer shade, sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my big fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into kind of both of these like lighter colored shades, this like corally peach, I guess it's more peach, and kind of this more muted brown peach. And I'm going to dip into both of them, tap off that excess, and I'm going to put those in my crease. Bring some color. I don't want a ton of color, but just a little bit, and a little bit for definition. There, now I've got my base all set. And go ahead and do the other one. Just using windshield wiper motions and little circular motions here to get that blended, you know, all the way up to my eyebrow, as well as well into my crease. And then just putting it in the corner of my eye here to give some definition to my eye. And then I'm going to come in with a smaller shader brush, or I guess not shader brush, blending brush. And I'm going to use this color right here, and I'm going to use that to deepen the outer corner of my eye. I don't want a ton though, just a little bit. Just to add some depth and dimension and a little bit of interest to the eye look, so that when I go and put that shimmer shade on, it's really going to pop. I'm just putting it in the outer corner of my eye here, slightly into my crease, but just barely, 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 barely. Okay, now we have the mattes all done, and because I did go ahead and put powder underneath, I am going to grab that same brush and that same color. Make sure I don't have too much, and I'm going to pinch it so that I'm really making this like skinny brush there, and I'm going to bring that just underneath my eye in the outer corner, but only like outer third. And this also helps really open up the eye and bring some definition. But I don't bring it all the way in, because if I do that, you know, if I'm going for a smoky look, smoky glam look, that's what I would do. But I'm just doing a regular glam look, and I'm going to leave that in just the outer third of my eye so that I don't close off my eye too much. Now I'm gonna grab that shimmer shade with my finger, because I find that grabbing it with my finger, you see there, it really picks up the product super well. And I'm gonna start closest to the inner corner of my eye as I can, and then working my way out. And I use tapping motions as well as swiping motions. Boy, and that is just so pretty, the way it reflects the light. It's not too gold, but it's not too peachy. Natasha Denona just knows how to do her shimmers super, super well. I'm always really impressed. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is use this last dark shade, and I'm going to use my eyeliner brush, dip in there. And the last definition I'm just going to put along my lash line with that color. It's almost like I'm kind of tight lining my upper lashes with this color. But rather than using a brown or a black that could look a little harsh or not blend super well with these colors, I am using this burgundy eyeshadow, and it's like one of my favorite tricks to do when I'm doing a glam look is use the eyeshadow from the same palette to create my eyeliner look, to create my eyeliner wing, because it just blends everything super well together, makes it very cohesive. Eyeshadow's all done. We're gonna go ahead and put on some mascara. Just a little bit of color with some shimmer that's really gonna make your eyes pop. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of mascara to this outer third portion of my eyelashes where we put that eyeshadow. That way it pulls it all together. So my concealer and my foundation's been sitting on my face. It's kind of set in, and I haven't powdered it yet, but this is a good time to come in and work out any of those settled lines that have gone on, blend them in before we come in with powder and set. I'm going to use my puff, and I'm going to put it in there, and then I'm going to make sure all the excess is scraped off. And I have a decent amount, and then I'm going to press that where I have the biggest pores. And I'm going to press it on my nose as well. And I'm only doing this in my T-zone. I'm not bringing it all the way out on my cheek, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some cream products, but I just want to set this part of my face before it creases. And bring whatever is left up between my eyebrows. I'm going to bring some onto my chin. So we want this to last all night, all day, wherever you are wearing this glam look. Now when it comes to glam looks, layering your products is what's going to help it last the longest. So if you're wearing this to, you know, a outdoor wedding, or you're wearing this to a work event, or, you know, a family party or something like this, you really want to layer on those products. So what I mean by layering is we're going to use cream, and then we're going to add the powder on top, because just like with our foundation, when you put the powder on top of that, it's setting it. And so by putting a cream product and then putting a powder product on top of that, like a cream bronzer that I'm using now, and then coming in with a powder bronzer, it's going to set that cream bronzer, and it's going to make it last so much longer. And you can go a lot more light-handed with it, because we're gonna do thin layers of everything. So as you're layering it, it will all mesh together, and you don't have to keep piling it on. I've got a little definition in my cheeks for my bronzer. I'm gonna come in with a little bit of definition on my nose, just slightly. And then I'm gonna use my puff or my sponge, not my puff, my sponge, there we go. Then, what's really gonna help, we're gonna sculpt this jawline here. And if you want to bring it all the way up, you can, and then bring it down. So we want to look glam, right? And you can't do that without having some sculpting. I do like to bring it down, but leave this front part of my neck open. And it really cuts off a big chunk of that heaviness under the neck that we can get sometimes. Before I go ahead and put on my powder bronzer, I'm going to come in and put on my cream blush. Now, this is one of my favorite summer colors. It is Danessa Myrick's Yummy Skin Primadonna blush, and this you can use in so many ways, and I barely dip into this, as you can see, because it is a very bright, kind of intimidating color, but it's so beautiful. It's kind of like a hot pink, red, corally, kind of everything mixed in one. I don't generally go for super corally blushes because I just like pink, and so having this red, it's not a true red, it's like a pinky red mixed with the coral, it makes this perfect tone for my face. So I really barely dipped into there, because you will see how pigmented this is. Oops. Kind of like those Rare Beauty liquid blushes. That's how this is. And also, you don't have to layer this product. This one will last you all day, but I'm going to do it. I like to bring it up. I'm going to layer this product because I want to bring some other tones in. And that's the other wonderful thing. When you layer products, you can bring in other tones. So if you have a more red, powder bronzer, but you want to bring in some of that yellow tan, you can do that as well by layering your products. Okay, last thing is putting on a liquid highlighter. This is going to change your game exponentially when it comes to looking very blinding. This is one of my favorite liquid highlighters. I had to depot it. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in the, whatever the highlighter one is. And I had to depot it because mine was getting so messy. It's the twist up, puff, blah. And so if I'm gonna be getting on my hands and being messy, I might as well just use my hands and be messy. So I'm going to put this the highest part of my cheeks, and this is one of the most beautiful liquid highlighters because it's not glittery, but it shows, oops, just enough glow. And then, of course, we're doing a glam look. We gotta put a little bit on our nose. Whoop. A little bit on the bridge. And then I like to put a little bit right here. This is just where part of, follow the contours and the bones of your face structure, what sticks out. Right here, it sticks out a little bit for me. And so I'm gonna highlight that. And also experiment. Wear highlighter in different places you didn't think. This is one of my new favorite places, is to put it on my temple there. I used to put it all over my forehead, but that was just a little too much highlighter. So now I put it in very targeted areas, and that's gonna make your glam look that much more spectacular. Okay, so now we have all of our cream products on. We're gonna come in with our powder products. I'm gonna swirl my bronzer, and I don't need nearly as much bronzer. I'm going to just set that. And I'm gonna tap, not using swiping motions. I'm gonna set my mirror down so I can lift up my hair. So we wanna make sure everything's blended into our hairline very well. I know my hair's gone a little crazy with using the brush there. I'm gonna set under the jawline that we did here, bring that down. Don't be afraid to bring your makeup down as much as you need wherever you need it. I'm just gonna bring just a little bit right there. Okay, and I said that, when it comes to blush, I wanted to bring in a different tone, and so I do have this RMS Beauty Pomegranate Fizz blush. And it is a sparkly blush. When you're going glam, you gotta use all the sparkle and shimmer and everything, so that when those camera lights hit you or the sun hits you, everyone just goes, oh, they have to gasp. Okay. So I'm just gonna barely tap in, because that other blush is so pigmented. I don't need very much, just a little bit, and it's gonna bring more of that redness to the blush. Put a little bit up here. We are really blushing now. Making our eyes pop and everything. This is just coming together so well. I love it. Okay, and then I'm going to use this Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in Ozone. And it's just their highlighter. This one is very blinding. So we're gonna layer that on top there. So it almost gives that like glass skin kind of sweaty look, but not sweaty. It's an intentional, glass skin. That's what I would say. And a good trick is to take your pinky, put that into your highlighter, and put it just here in the corner of your eye for that extra pop. Makeup is super versatile. It may have, the name as blush, or it may be a bronzer, but you do not have to use it as such. You can use products however you want. They're super versatile, which is really nice. Make sure it's safe to use around your eyes though before you do that, or your mouth and lips. Okay, I'm going to brush out my eyebrows. Make sure those are laying nicely. And I'm going to take my handy dandy rag here, wipe off excess foundation around my lips. Another trick that I like to do is I really like to match what I'm wearing and my jewelry to my makeup, or vice versa. Match it all, right? Then it really is this cohesive, kind of luxurious elegance. This is the other really handy thing to do with your cream blush. I'm going to take just a little bit, just a little bit. This makes everything match really well. That way you don't have to have, you know, a million different lipsticks and blushes and everything. You can match your lips with your blush by just using a cream blush. And the last thing here, cannot walk away without a good gloss, and this is one of my favorites. It's like the best part of cherry possible. It's like all the parts that I want in a cherry lollipop or, you know, cherry candy. It's Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. I wouldn't say it's like major lip plumping. It is definitely line smoothing. It can get a little minty, but really that cherry is just, it's cherry vanilla. One of my favorites. Got me back into lip gloss because obviously it gives such a beautiful shine, as you can see. And there you have it. My summer glam makeup look. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up or at least subscribe so I can create more awesome